Hello, this is Lucas. Welcome back to another Java tutorial. Today we are going to be going over methods overloading. So we went through methods, how methods work, a couple of videos back if you want to check that out first if you're not too sure about how methods work. But now we're going to be going over method overloading, which is basically having multiple methods that have the same name, but we're going to pass in different parameters to each method. So instead of defining two methods that have two different names, it's better to overload one method, but we have different parameters to pass in. So firstly, let's create our two methods. So we're going to do a basic example. We're just going to add two numbers together. So let's say we have a static. So we need to return an int. Let's do static int, and then we'll just do add numbers, and then we're going to pass in an int x, and int y, and all we're going to do is we're going to return x plus y. So we're just going to add the two numbers that we passed in, and then we're just going to return it. So let's call this method that we made. So let's say I have an int number. Let's do number 1. I'm going to equal this to. Let's just say we equal it to 8, for example. And then let's just have another number. So we're going to have number 2, and let's equal this to 10. So now we have two numbers. We want to add them up. So this is what I went through in the first method video, so we'll just call this method here, and we'll do add numbers, and then we will just pass in whatever we need as the parameters. So we need an x and y, so we're going to just pass in. We're going to pass in the number 1. That's our first int, and then we're going to pass in number 2 as our second parameter. And this is just going to add the two numbers, and it's going to return it in here. And the way we are going to do it now, actually. What we're going to do is we're going to, so we have our numbers. Let's say I want to store this as, I'm going to store this as an int, store as total, equal to this. And then we are going to print out at the bottom here, we're going to print out int, just so we know which one it is, int, and we're going to do plus total. So if we run this, you can see it's just going to add these two numbers, 8 and 10, with this method here. We pass in number 1 and number 2. Now, let's say we have something else. Let's say we have a double, for example. So let's say we make ourselves two doubles. We'll do double 1 and equal this to, I don't know, let's do 22.2. And let's say we have another double here, and we're going to name this the double 2. And we equal this to 43, which do 1.1. Now, let's say we want to do the exact same thing here. So what we can do is we can do static. Now we're going to do double, because we're going to return double, and we're going to name it to the exact same one that we have here, add numbers. So, except now we're going to pass in double as the parameters, double x, and then we're going to pass in double y. Double y, and then we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to return x plus y, like this. Now let's call our method again, and I'm going to store whatever we return as a double. So we'll just do double total, for example, and I'm going to equal that to add numbers, and now we're going to pass in these two doubles here. Double 1 and double 2. Let's just do that. We got double 1, and now we got double 2. And now I'm going to print out. We're going to print out. Let's just do double, so we know which one we're on about. And we're going to do double total, like this. And if you run this, you can see we get int 18. Which we got from here. Then we got double 23.3. Now, the way this works is we have two integers, and we are calling the method add numbers with the parameters of the two ints. Now when we do this, we check, or the program checks the methods that are available. So okay, we have two methods here. We have two methods with the same number that have add numbers. Now the program checks whatever parameters we passed in. Now because we passed in two ints, we look for the method that has the parameters as an int. So you can see we have an int here and an int here. And this one we have double on double. Now because we are passing in two ints, or two integers, we are going to be using this method here. And then we're going to just add them up and return it as the total here. Now for this one, we are doing the exact same thing. We are calling add numbers. So now it's going to be between these two methods that we'll be calling, but we check the parameters. So we pass in two doubles. We pass in double 1 and double 2. So now it's going to go to this one. So it's going to check, okay, this is the name, add numbers, but this one is we're passing in two integers. So this is the wrong one. So now we go into the next one, add numbers, and the parameters that we have here that we're passing in are doubles. So because we are passing doubles in here, we're going to use this method here. And then we're going to return x plus y as a double, so you can see we can store double like this. So this is what method overloading is. It's when we can have multiple methods with the exact same name. It's just that it depends what method gets executed based on the parameters that we pass in and the parameters that are set inside of the method here. So for example, if we pass in two strings in here, and if we have another method here that we return a string, and we have the parameters as string, it will call that method instead of these two. So that's all that method overloading is. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a very short one, and I'll see you in the next one.